Hello everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick tier guide for Onslaught again, as there has been a few changes where I think the meta has slightly changed a little bit. So let's get started, firstly with the heavy tanks. Also, D tier is basically for any tank you can't play in the mode, C tier is just, bad tanks, B tier is like meh, A tier is like slightly unorthodox, I guess would be a word. S tier is just kind of like the meta vehicles that you can basically take on most maps. A is like, I guess, worse versions of them in a way. We'll see. Anyway, Cran, we'll just put in C tier. I mean, there's no reason to really play a Cran ever, really. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. There's just better vehicles than a Cran for most locations. VZ, I mean, it's okay. In 15 it's not too bad, but yeah, Onslaught, not great. The ability is not amazing, and there's better tanks, I think, than the VZ that can have a bit more DPM. Rhino, obviously, poo. 60p, probably B. Could maybe be A, but I think we'll keep it in B because the gun handling is still pretty bad, and the speed is not, like, amazing. Type 5 is still the meta right now. Even with the bans, from what I can see, people are still they're banning Type 5s basically with the ban to stop them playing against you. So, still a very good tank. Being able to hit for 1k with HE is always very nice. 113, probably just C as well. Could be maybe B, but I personally don't like the 113, so I'm quite biased. IS4, actually kind of used sometimes in some locations. For example, Ghost Town. Some people are using it to like peek on the cap anyway. So, it is used sometimes, but still not a lot. 5A kind of the click on. 5A kind of the same as the 113. Again, could be maybe up here because I mean the gun is quite nice, mobility is quite nice, DPM is quite nice. I've seen some people use it. To be fair, in some Onslaught training rooms, when I've been training with my team, or against my team, I guess. Anyway, so I'll put it in B for now. It's actually not that bad. Right, 50B. This thing got buffed in this patch. Was it 2.1.1, I think? Yeah, it's received some random ass buffs for some reason. Just buffing alpha and some other things, hit points, gun handling in general. Yeah, it made the tank very nice to play, as well as I think Wargaming have put it so you have level 2 ability from the start of the game as well. So it's kind of elevated this tank quite highly. I mean, before it was probably A, but now it's ST. I see a lot of people spamming these tanks, so definitely get ready for a lot of 50Bs. FV, I don't think you can play. Mouse, I would say it's A. It's still pretty good. Obviously, definitely a good replacement for Type 5, but some people will prefer mouse, to be fair. But, I mean, for maps like Ensk, sometimes, where you need to kind of side script an angle, the mouse is better. But, I mean, some of the times you just ban the E4 and you can pick a Type 5 and just not care. So, yeah. IS7, probably B, now that there is a certain other vehicle in the being allowed in. IS7's kind of fallen off. I mean, there isn't really much reason to take an IS7 other than probably hit points, really. Like the buff in hit points, really. That's probably the only reason why you take it. And I guess like the better side armor, but yeah. Dravik, probably A tier. It's still not amazing because the ability is not like crazy, but it's still a very good tank. Obviously has very good DPM with the ability as well. And they keep on buffing the ability as well to try and get these tanks into the meta, but not fully in the meta, and there's definitely no Dravik spam. But for some positions, you can definitely use a Dravik. Type 71, obviously this got buffed in the patch as well. But again, kind of the same as Dravik, I don't think this will elevate this tank that high. The ability kind of lets it down. I know everyone is basically using M5Y still, because, well, it's just kind of nicer to play than Type 71. The turret's more annoying to play against, and you don't have this silly mode where you can get ruined for some reason because it just activates randomly, you know. BZ, still meta. Probably will be the most played tank in Onslaught, especially in the OLS and the OCS, I guess. Yeah, I mean, nothing got changed about it, so yeah, still very good. E100, same as Mouse, really. Can be definitely used, but most people prefer Type 5 because of the alpha, but E100 still obviously can be used because of that DPM. BZT, can't play. E5, I mean, it's either B or A. It does sometimes get used, to be fair, because they buff the ability so much, and it's just a very decent tank in general anyway. So it's teetering on the edge of A, but I think it's used so little that I will put it in B, but still very good. TV7 Heavy, kind of the same as 50B. They buffed this ability like a little bit because it's now level 2 from the beginning. So yeah, it's very nice to play as an opening tank and still amazing punish. But I think 50B just has a bit more mobility now, and I think it even has probably more hit points maybe than the Tiefstone Heavy, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe you can double check me on that. Chieftain, can't play obviously. S-Conk is trash. Please don't play your S-Conk in this mode. I'd rather you play a Type 71 or an E5. If for some reason you think S-Conk is good on Westfield, you know, great for you, but it's not. Just take a BZ or some other tank that will be in C or A, and you'll have a much more enjoyable time, and your team won't yell at you. AMX, I mean, it's probably just the same as kind of S-Conk, but there are just better tanks. You know, if you want your alpha, you just go E100 really, and the speed is marginable. It's not that much difference. Panzer 7, I mean, it's probably just here as well. It's fine for Onslaught. It's just like, why would you take this over taking an E100, a mouse, or a Type 5? There's no point in taking this. 705A. It's like, I think most people are playing IS-4 instead than this tank because of probably the heat pen, and that's probably it. Obviously, more hit points. You have the same ability, so like it could be used for sure in some positions, but I think you'll just enjoy yourself more in the IS-4. M5Y, I'll put it in meta. It is used a lot on Sand River, but that's kind of basically it. I'll put it in A actually. But yeah, that's kind of the whole stick of this tank. You use it on Sand River and you have a great time on the ridge lines. I can't think of any other maps you use it on. Oh, Westfield, and maybe some other map that I'm forgetting now. But you know, 2 maps it's used on, but them 2 maps there he's very good on. Can opener, probably B. He's just a bit too slow, really. It's still fine. I think I'd probably prefer playing it over a 60 DP, but I don't see why you'd play this tank. I mean, I think the only good spot that was ever used on was like Siegfried Line, I think, in the hold down. Or whatever it'd be, probably the 4 line or something. 277, it's kind of just the same as IS-7. The Dravik exists, so why would you play any of these tanks, basically? Other than, I guess, Heat Pen, but you're probably not going to need the Heat Pen, to be honest. ST2, probably just C, it's just not very good. You may as well just play an IS-4 if you want to play this tank. KPZ you can't play. That thing is not released. That thing you can't play. MBTP you can't play. 279 you can't play. Ashbringer is TP, so we'll put it with the TP. You can't play that. That's the BZ. I mean, I'll just put it there because there's no point. Chief you can't play. 260 you can't play. BZ you can't play. Okay, yeah, you can play. PKK you can play. 116 you can play. 5A, 113's clone. Griffin, I don't think you can play. Stinger you can't. Well, Stinger you can play, but I mean, I already have to send heavy. Let me just put my Ashbringer down as well. Right, on to mediums now. What? Why did it delete the... Okay, whatever. Oh, what is that? What is this website? Okay, whatever. TVP, We'll put in C. I don't think it's very good. I much prefer playing a Batchat over the TVP. There are some cases, some use cases for the TVP, probably on just like Cliff, where you can like shoot them going up the hill, but you need to be very careful with it. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's very good. It's probably usable, but I think every TVP player I've seen has died in 2 shots and gone next game. So yeah, there is some bias there, but I think the Batchat is just so much better. Progetto, I mean, I feel bad putting the TVP next to the Progetto, but yeah, both of them are pretty poo. Batchat, I think it's meta. Obviously, it got the buff, no, this ability got buffed where now it can reload faster just from the start of the game. So you basically have like a 30-second reload or less. And you get the new skill Mag Mastery as well. Also cuts down your reload by probably like 1 or 2 seconds. So, you know, you're doing very well. STB is poo, but why would you ever play an STB unless you want that? Like, I mean, most people just use UDESs if they want the like gun depression. And they have like now a good turret, so it's like kind of why would you play this tank over an STB? 1-to-1 is kind of the same. Why would you play this tank over a 140? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. SGLV, I mean, there are some cases for it to play it, so maybe we'll put it in A. Yeah, we'll put it in A because it does get used sometimes and can be used on, you know, different maps like, I don't know, Airfield, Proco. I'm sure there's other maps I'm forgetting. Westfield as well. It's not too bad. CS, obviously meta. You know, fastest medium tank in the game. It has Strike, which got buffed as well this time. I mean, most things got buffed this time. So, yeah, CS is pretty good. Minnow, I mean, just too little health, really, I think, to play this mode. And why would you play this over, like, a Bliska or WZ? UDES, we'll put it in A because it does have some use cases. I do think 140 is probably better than it, and playing UDES to me feels awful because the shell velocity is bad, the pen is bad, but you know, you can't get past the having 12 degrees of gun depression and a good decent turret anyway. WZ Light, obviously trash. Crocodile you can't play. DVB you can't play. Tessac, there are some cases. It's pretty good. Obviously, it still has plane. I think did plane get buffed? I think it might have. I think it did. Maybe it didn't. I can't fucking remember. But yeah, I think something changed with the plane. But it's still obviously very good. You can knock down a lot of houses if for some reason you need. And yeah, the gun's quite nice for ambushes. Bliska, it's being used a bit less, I feel, than what it was previously, but still, obviously, still used quite a lot. I mean, let's put it in meta because it is just meta, and yeah, I mean, people are going full city on Ensk now again, and yeah, Bliska's just very nice for that kind of fight. St. Axe, we'll put it in A, kind of the same as the UDES. It does probably have some use cases, but because of the gun depression, but other than that, I mean, you're just going to be better playing a 140. Hori, it did get buffed, the ability this patch, but I still don't think it's amazing to play. It probably is some use cases for it in some positions holding. Overall, it's probably not a bad tank. But I think you're probably just better sniping with like a grill or like a 114 if you want to snipe. But it's still pretty good. I'm very tempted to put it in A. So, but we'll keep it in B, I think, for now. WZ, I mean, people used it on like Ensk A0 for like a little bit in the first season, I think, of Onslaught or less. But now there's not many people playing it. You know, it's kind of just like a worse replacement of a Bliska because it's just a bit slower than a Bliska. Probably has overall kind of weaker armor than a Bliska. But it's still decent. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. I don't think anyone's going to complain that they have a WZ. Artillery, obviously you can play. I'll just stick all these here. FV. I think you can play the FV, but we'll put it in C because it's poop. Batchat, obviously you can play. Jaegeru, probably just C as well. It's too immobile, really, to play this mode. So, yeah, I don't think it's very good. Maybe some position on, like, Ensk, it's not terrible. Just shooting down the rail. But, yeah, it's not great. E50M, meta, still very good. Used a bit less now because 430U got buffed in this patch as well, but still obviously very good. TPM is insane. Yeah, just a nice medium tank as well, flexible medium. Another artillery. Oh, that's a Leo. Okay, the Leo just vanished. E4, I would say still meta, even though the ability got nerfed this Onslaught season. It's still obviously a very good tank. If you didn't know, I think it can only go two more reverse speed. I think that's all it gets instead of like +7 or something, whatever it got. So pretty significant nerf, but I still think it's very good. I see a lot of teams still taking E4s, so, and some people even ban E4. 268. We'll put it at the same tier as Hori. I know a person really doesn't like the 268, but it's maybe usable in some locations. But overall, I think it'd be better taking something else like a Foch B. Obviously, this tank is poo, so why would you play this tank? E3, it's just too slow, even with the ability. It doesn't make up for it. And, you know, if you get permed, which you can easily do in this tank, you're going to be dead very quickly. So I would much rather play an E4, unless an E4 is banned, and after an E4 is banned, my tank, I would rather go WZ after that. Plus 155, I don't know if you can play. I think you can play, but yeah, obviously just not very good. You know, why would you play this tank over a Foch? So, yeah. FE, same as the other FE. Troll pick. Yeah. I mean, depends on the player, I guess. If a good player is playing an FE, it can work out quite well. You know, on cliff, if they're just aiming on the hill or, you know, doing some kind of strat where they're just going to bitch slap someone and they're hidden and they're not a pussy with their health, you know, it can work. But I think most of the time I've seen an FE, they do 500 damage because they don't pen, and then they go die. So, you know, it might be B, maybe, for the Onslaught random queue, but I think you just want to keep it in C and not pick it and pick something more reliable and versatile. Pattern. It's just like, why would you play this tank when you can play Centax? Really? Centax has just been buffed too much, probably, for a while. I mean, I guess they have buffed Pattern for a while, but yeah, it's still not on probably the same level, just because of the speed, really, and the nice HE on the Cent as well. Leo, I mean, I don't see many people playing Leo anymore because people are just playing CS instead, but it's still playable, obviously. Have a very good gun in Onslaught with all the modifiers, and you have a good gun to start off with anyway. It has the mobility. Strike got it buffed a little in this patch, so on some maps you can definitely play a Leo and no one is going to complain. 30B, yeah, that's a tank people are going to complain about. It's just trash. Wargaming might eventually buff this tank, but who knows. One day maybe. 97 you can't play. M60 same as Pattern, but probably just weaker because it just has no armor at all. So yeah, play a Centax if you want to play an M60. Badger, probably B. It's not a bad tank to be fair, but I don't know. It's fallen out of the meta since it became like heavily meta on Westfield a while ago. But still a decent tank for holding a position. But I'd rather just play a Blisker, I think, so I have that bit more mobility. But, you know, some people don't like the turret, the gun traversal of the Blisker, so, you know, fair enough. 140, obviously, still a very meta. Obviously, they kind of overbuff this with when they buffed it a while ago, and yeah, it's still probably the most played tank in Onslaught, probably. Well, it definitely was last season. Anyway, everyone was taking one every game. I think it had like a 90% pick rate or something. Kind of insane. AMX, I mean, there are just better lights, so why would you play this tank? I mean, there's like Tessac and RHM, spoiler alert, so it's kind of just like, why would you pick this tank? Unless for some reason one team's banned RHM, one's team banned Tessac, maybe you can ban AMX. Foshbeat, still obviously very meta. The ability is still very good, and you have the clip potential. What's there not to like, really? I don't know. Not having a turret, I guess. I mean, people are taking a lot more 50Bs than Foshb now, but I still think Foshb is still very good. So, yeah. EBR, I mean, I put it in A. There are not many maps you can play EBR. You know, Proco, Ghost Town, Miro. But other than that, I mean, they're not going to use it much, but still obviously good for them maps and can definitely work out. LT, I mean, it's only really used on Cliff because of the low profile, so it can go hill. But other than that, it's not really used, to be honest. So, you know, I wouldn't pick it. I'd much rather see my teammate taking an RHM. Drill, I'll put it in B. I mean, it can definitely work at some times, but, and a big but, yeah, I mean, it's just such weakly armored. If they have a light tank, you can just get permaplaned. But, you know, you can do these 1,000 shots on people and have a very good time. But, you know, it's very inconsistent, I would say, the grill. So I don't know if you want to be picking it. Concept 5, I'll put it in B as well. I think it's the same as the Leo, really. Obviously, the mobility on the Leo is much better, but alpha damage is quite nice on this tank. The gun is obviously probably even better, but I think most of the time you'll be taking a CS, really. But I don't mind Concept 5 on my team. Sheridan, obviously, poo. I don't know why you'd pick this tank, to be completely honest. For the meta. Since it got buffed, it's being used a crap ton in competitive, so I would imagine it's going to be the same for the random queue. I know I'm going to play it a lot in the random queue because I need to grind it for the tier 11, which I probably won't enjoy, but you know, I'll get there eventually. RHM, we'll put it in meta. Still the best light tank probably in the game at tier 10 for Onslaught. So yeah, naturally it's going to be played a lot in Onslaught. So yeah, some people ban this tank, but then you just pick Tessac and you're chilling, you know. If they ban Tessac, then you go, you know, LT. So there you go. V4, just not very good. I mean, with everyone's accuracy improved, everything's going to hit your cupola. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot. Weirdly, it feels a lot easier to get tracked in this thing. I know the ability obviously makes it a one-shot track, but I feel like people shoot this thing's tracks a lot. Anyway, and now you're in Onslaught, you get tracked a lot, so I'd rather play Blisker than this tank anyway, just because the mobility is better. K91, I would say it's quite meta, actually. I see a lot of teams taking K91s on a lot of maps, so I would imagine it's going to be the same for the random Onslaught queue. Just a very nice tank for Onslaught. Has Strike, so you can reset things if you want. It has good DPM, the mobility is pretty decent. You have a fully reversible turret now. Very nice. Nothing really to not like other than, I don't know, hit points, I guess, and armor. Ares, obviously this is the new addition to Onslaught. I know I was trialing it a little bit on some maps, but I'm not using it anymore. It's still probably very versatile and able to be used because, you know, you have this, well, the TD's, you know, Blisker and things like that ability where you can one-shot tracks. I would imagine this tank will be very good against, you know, things like that, maybe like Westfield or something like that. You could use Ares, and if you fight a Blisker, you're going to have a very good time of just one-shot tracking him, right? And perma-tracking him, basically. So, yeah, so I think it's a good tank. I just don't know how good, really, it might be in the Onslaught random queue. But, you know, with the ability of being able to like cool down your gun a lot quicker, the Onslaught accuracy as well, so you don't get like massive bloom, you know, it could be a terror, this tank, but I'm undecided of that at the moment. Triumphant is just the syntax, obviously. Phoenix you can't play. I'm pretty sure this tank you can't play. This tank you can't play. This tank you can play, but I don't see why you'd ever play this tank when E4 exists. And when you go down the list, and you have to go to a V5. Yeah, I think you're scraping the barrel, bottom of the barrel anyway. Caro you can't play. Can you play Vickers? I don't think you can play Vickers. Maybe you can, but anyway, it would be C anyway. Horrorously, this is just a CS. You can play this. I don't think you can play Ashigaru. It's not just a 1-to-1 B. Manticore, obviously just C. Worst DPM in this entire... Yeah, worst DPM in the entire game at tier 10 in Onslaught. So why would you ever play this tank when you have LT, basically? Yeah, 114. Pretty good. I'll put it with the grill. I think it's probably slightly above the grill, but I can't like put it, you know, above it. And I don't think it probably deserves A because most people are never playing this tank. But it can work. I think it's probably more reliable than a grill. But, you know, you do still have a box of a tank. But, you know, you can play Ridgelines, I think, slightly better with a 114. On, like, you know, Sand River or something like this, where you can sit and base. T22 you can't play. 1-to-1B we will put in B. You know, 1-to-1B exists. No, 1-to-1. The 140 exists, so this tank will just never really be played. And after you play this, you probably just want to play Scent, and then you go 1-to-1B, I guess, after that. I guess you probably play 1-to-1B, I guess. Yeah, I guess you do. So, yeah, I think that is everything, though, actually. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with these fitters, but pretty sure. Just trying to zoom out. I guess I should just, yeah, I guess I should do that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just relook again at anything. I7 could maybe pushed up into A, maybe, but yeah, I would say it's a pretty good list if I do say so myself. So thank you for watching, and catch you in the next one. Hopefully I can come out with some Onslaught content soon, I hope. Anyway, bye-bye.